Hello and welcome to the Sligo GAA Centre of Excellence in Scarden on this Friday evening and on this Tailteann Cup semi-final weekend for Sligo. It's also time for the Club Football and Hurling Championship draws in the Yates County. Coming up, we'll have 5 championship draws to be made. The Davis's Restaurant and Yates Tavern Sligo Senior Hurling Championship, the Connacht Gold Junior A and Junior B Football Championships, the Connacht Gold Intermediate Football Championship and the Homeland Sligo Senior Football Championship. And the gentleman making the draw and stirring the balls over the next few moments will be Sligo GAA Chairperson Sean Carroll, who's with me here this evening, and he's joined by Sligo GAA Vice Chair Noel Gallagher. Sean, it's another big weekend for Sligo, not just for the draw, but of course we're back to Croke Park.
Yeah, very exciting. That's the place you want to be. I know the players are very excited about returning again. 3 years in a row. It's brilliant, and yeah, massive excitement. Looking forward to it.
And in terms of the draws you'll be making in the next few moments, have any of your Calera Strandhill brethren been edging you politely to be gentle with the senior championship draw later on?
Yeah, well, look, I suppose I got a bit of grief last year and about the draw, and look how that turned out. So look, it'll all be decided on the field. It won't be decided in here tonight.
Well, we'll see what happens a bit later on with the senior championship, folks. Calera Strandhill, the reigning champions in the Yates County. Sean, thank you for now. Let's have a word with Noel Gallagher, Vice Chair of Sligo GAA, and of course deeply involved with Club Sligo as well. We're enjoying the success at underage level and at inter-county level as well, Noel. I suppose that makes Club Sligo more important than ever.
Absolutely. It does, of course. I suppose Club Sligo is the financial arm of Sligo GAA. It's targeted, the funds are targeted for development from underage right through to senior costs. So for resources and facilities, that's what funds it.
Sure.
So it's very important.
And if you wanted to persuade people to join Club Sligo this year, they can still do that?
Absolutely. It's a rolling year on it. I suppose currently in Club Sligo we have 420. Sligo's GAA is in a very great place. So we're asking every member or every person out there in Sligo to hop on Sligo GAA and follow the link to Club Sligo.
To continue the upward curve. Noel, great. Thank you very much for that. That's Noel Gallagher, the Vice Chair of Sligo GAA, and you'll find all the Club Sligo details on sligogaa.ie. Right, let's get cracking. 5 draws to come, and the first of them is going to be the Davis's Restaurant and Yates Tavern Sligo Senior Hurling Championship draw. 7 clubs involved in the Senior Hurling Championship in Sligo this year, and to explain how it works, I'm delighted to be joined. There are the teams, by the way, on your screen. You'll see St Milosh Gaels, their first time ever in the... Fergus, just talk us through the format for the Senior Hurling Championship in Sligo.
Thanks, Austin. Yeah, there's 7 teams, so all 7 are going to be split across 2 groups, a group of 4 and a group of 3, and as you mentioned, St Milosh Gaels are going to be playing in the group of 4 to guarantee them 3 championship games in their first year of Senior Hurling Championship. So after that, then the 2023 finalists, Naomh and Eastleigh, are going to be seeded into Group 1 and Group 2. That's in the little black bag here. Sean will be drawing them shortly. And after that, the remaining 4 teams will be drawn one after each other, Group 1, Group 2, Group 1, Group 2, to complete the groups. So top 2 in each will qualify for the semi-final.
Okay, so there will be county semi-finals in the hurling. Great. Fergus, thank you very much for that easy-to-follow explanation of the Senior Hurling Championship in Sligo, kindly sponsored by Davis's Restaurant and the Yates Tavern. So 7 teams in the draw. St Milosh Gaels already assigned to Group 1 as Fergus outlined. And the first order of business for Sean Carroll here, County Chairman, will be to draw from the black bag, which has just 2 canisters in it. And these are the county finalists, the seeded teams from last year, Eastleigh and Naomh, and they will be put in separate groups, kept apart in the group stages as you see there on your screen. And then we will move to the other 4 clubs to fill in the remaining spots in groups 1 and 2. So Sean, in your own time, can you draw the seeded clubs please for this year's Senior Hurling Championship in Sligo?
So Group 1 will be defending champions Eastleigh.
Eastleigh, the Sea Blues, are in Group 1 along with the St Milosh Gaels. That will be the 4-team group, which means that in Group 2 the seeded club should be
Naomh.
County finalists last year and great rivals with Eastleigh. They won the Dermot Malloy Hurling League title in 2023 as well, so they are knocking hard on the door, and they are the seeded club in Group 2 of the Senior Hurling Championship. So now we're going to fill in places 2 and 3 in Groups 1 and 2 of the Senior Hurling Championship, and that's where we move to the bowl, where there are 4 canisters. So Sean, if you'd like to draw the second team, please, for Group 1 of the Hurling Championship. And give them a good swirl, very important as well.
Okay, next team out. And that's Tour de Strand.
So Tour de Strand drawn into Group 1, and they will join Easkey and St Melosh Gales in Group 1. The next team to be drawn out will be the second team for Group 2 to join Navan in Group 2.
And that's Colera Strandhill.
Colera Strandhill are the second team for Group 2 in with Navan. Next, back to Group 1 we go.
And that's Western Gales.
Western Gales, working hard to develop a new bespoke hurling and camogie facility, of course, in the west of the county at the moment, and they complete Group 1.
Galway St Joseph's.
The Hazelwood Club, Galway St Joseph's, complete Group 2, Navan, Colera Strandhill and Galway St Joseph's. So that's your 2 groups for the Davis's Restaurant and Yates Tavern Sligo Senior Hurling Championship. The opening round of matches there will be played on the weekend of the 27th and 28th of July, and as Fergus mentioned earlier on, the top 2 clubs from each group will contest county senior hurling semi-finals later this year. Thanks to Sean for that Senior Hurling Championship draw, and a reminder that a recap of all the draws will appear on the Sligo GAA social media platforms later this weekend. Let's move on to the Football Championship draws right now, and I'm going to invite representatives from our championship sponsors, the Connacht Gold Junior Intermediate Football Championship and the Homeland Sligo Senior Football Championship. And this evening we're delighted to be joined by Seamus Hannon, who is the National Account Manager for Arrivo Consumer Foods and a proud Eastern Harpsman as well, and he's joined by Caroline Miller, who is Brand Development and Marketing Manager for Arrivo Agri-Business. Seamus, from an Arrivo point of view, what is the key to this partnership between yourselves and Sligo GAA?
Yeah, well, thanks very much, Austin, and we're delighted to be here again for another year. We have a long-standing arrangement at this stage with Sligo GAA. We've been long-time sponsors, and we're delighted to be part of it again for the 2024 championship. I suppose what's important to us, you know, Arrivo is all about the community. It's all about local. We're very much seated in the heart of every community in the region, and that's what's important to us. And this is a very, very good connection from that point of view.
And I'm sure you'll be hoping for a gentle Eastern Harps draw a bit later on.
Hopefully, you never know.
And Caroline, we know Homeland as title sponsors of the Senior Championship here. It's a very big name in the Sligo area in particular.
Yeah, I mean, we have 8 Homeland stores within the county of Sligo. I know it's a hot topic when it comes around to even the draw in all of our canteens. Our teams get really, really excited to see what's going to be happening. There's a bit of, I suppose, friendly rivalry even between the stores. Look, to reiterate what Seamus has said, Homeland as a brand and as part of Arrivo, we're all about community, and we're back again, and we're only delighted to be the Homeland Senior Championship sponsor. So we're really looking forward to a great season and some great games.
Well, I know Sligo GAA are grateful for your continued support, and thank you very much, Seamus and Caroline, for being part here with us tonight for our club championship draws. Thank you very much indeed. So Seamus and Caroline will be watching the draws with interest, and we're going to move on to the first of our 4 football championship draws, and that is the Connacht Gold Junior B Football Championship draw. And this is the biggest one in terms of numbers, as you can see there on your screen. 16 teams in here, and here is Fergus to give us a beginner's guide to the format for the Junior B.
Yeah, so as I said, Austin, 16 entrants, so they're going to be split into 4 groups of 4. So they're going to be drawn out first team to Group 1, first team to Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, and back to Group 1 again. There's going to be 2 qualified from each group, so through to the quarterfinals in the Junior B Championship.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Fergus. So 16 teams are going to be in draw drum. We need the draw drum because there are so many canisters this time around for this Junior B Championship draw. 4 groups of 4 about to be drawn here, and we will draw the team 1 for each group, then the team 2 for each group, the team 3 for each group, and team 4. So Sean is giving the draw drum a good spin there. And in your own time, Sean, you can open the little magic gate and draw the first team for the Connacht Junior B Football Championship.
That's number 16.
Number 16 is the first team out, and that is Tubbercurry. Tubbercurry are the first team into Group 1. So now we're going to get the first team for Group number 2.
That's number 1. Number
1 is Ballymote. So the Corran Park Club are the first team out in Group 1. Next to Group 3, and it is number 3, keeping it in sync, and that's Castleconnor in the west. They are the first team in Group 3. Let's do the same for Group 4 then, to complete the number 1 teams. These are not the top seeds, but we're drawing one team out in the by row, and here is the first team for Group.
It's number 13.
Number 13 is the first team out for Group 4, and that is St. Pat's, who will complete the first line there in the Junior B Championship draw. So now we're going back to Group 1 to draw the second team out of the 4 for Group 1.
Number 10.
And number 10 is the team drawn out there, and that is Shamrock Gales, one of the few clubs able to field 3 adult teams in club football in Sligo, who move in there into Group 2. And here comes the second team for Group 3.
Number 8.
Number 8 is Enniscrone Kilglass, and they'll move into Group 3 and join Castleconnor there. And now we go to number 4.
Number 5.
Number 5, the second team out for Group 4, and that is Calera Strandhill, Sean's home club, and they move into the second slot in Group number 4. So back we go now to Group 1, another spin of the draw for the third club to be drawn into Group 1 of the Junior B.
Number 15.
Number 15 is St. Michael's. Plenty of Saints in Group 1 of the Junior B. And the third team now for Group 2.
Number 7.
Number 7, that is Easky. The Sea Blues second team are the third team in Group 2. Now we move back to Group 3 for the third club there,
Number 11.
which is St. Farnan's. So a very West Sligo feel to Group 3 of the Junior B. Here comes the third team for Group 4.
And that's number 9.
Which is Owenmore Gales. Connolly Park and Collooney will be fielding some games there in Group 4 of the Junior B. Back we go to Group 1 to complete Group 1. The fourth team is?
Number 12.
Number 12, St. John's will comprise the fourth slot in Group 1. To Group 2 we go, and the final team there is?
Number 2.
Number 2 is Colry St. Joseph's, the fourth and final team for Group 2. Another spin. Might we have a fourth club from West Sligo in Group 3 of the Junior B?
Number 4.
We won't. We've broken the run. Culani Mulnabrina complete Group 3 in the Junior B, Connacht Junior B Football Championship. Connacht Football Championship. So they are the 4 groups of 4 on your screen. Give you a moment to digest those as you look at them. And the first round of matches in the Connacht Junior B Football Championship scheduled to be played on the weekend of August the 17th and 18th. And a reminder, we'll have a recap of that Junior B draw across the Sligo GAA website and social media platforms this weekend. So that's the Junior B. We're going to move on to the Junior A, the intermediate and senior. And conducting those draws, we're delighted to be joined this evening by the man who helped guide Calera Strandhill to the 2023 Homeland Sligo Senior Football Championship draw, along with Adrian McPartland, and that was Enda Mitchell, who's not in charge of Calera Strandhill in 2024. Is it nice to have the feet up this time around?
Yeah, definitely. I think 4 years with Calera, it was great to have that position. I think kind of fell into it more by accident than design. It was supposed to be 1 year and it ended up turning into 4. But for myself personally, I suppose it's the first year since 2002 not to be involved with a Calera senior team. So it's nice to have the breakaway. I'm sure my wife and kids are very happy of it too. Between 20s and Calera, it's been non-stop, yeah.
And memories from 2023 to last a lifetime.
Yeah, definitely. You still get flashbacks, and the one thing I would say, it's not just of the county final. Like, there was the very first day out when we were playing Shamrock Gales, fresh off a league victory. It took a last second point from Niall Murphy, and similar against Drumcliff, it was the last second goal from Mark McDaniel. And I suppose the writing was nearly on the wall at that stage when we knew this sort of thing was happening. Our luck was going our way for a change. So, no, lots of memories, and yeah, delighted to have them.
Okay, well, we're going to let you slip into Joe Brawley mode this evening and get your thoughts on the three main football championship draws as they're made here in the next few moments. Enda, good to have you with us this evening. And the next draw we're going to do is the Connacht Gold Junior A Football Championship. And Fergus is back. Is going to give us a reminder. There's the 9 teams on your screen who will be contesting the Junior A this year. Fergus, can you talk us through how the Junior A will work in 2024?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, Austin, 9 teams, so they're going to sit into 2 groups, a group of 5 and a group of 4. That will be played over a round-robin basis. The top 2 teams in each group will progress to the semi-finals. There's actually going to be no relegation in Junior A Championship in 2024 because we're expanding it to 10 teams for 2025. So.
Okay. So there is a safety valve there for the bottom place team this year.
Yeah, so Sean is going to draw the first team to Group 1, then the first team to Group 2, second team to Group 1 and so on.
Okay, Fergus, great. Thank you very much for that. So 9 clubs in the Junior A. They are Ballymote, Clunacool, Drumcliff, Rosses Point, Eastern Harp, Shamrock Gales, St Mary's, St Michael's, St Melosh Gales and Turla Strand. And they all have a number there as well. So Sean has the canisters back in the glass bowl. So in your own time, let's draw the first team for Group 1 of the Connacht Gold Junior A Football Championship.
Okay, and the first team out are St Michael's.
St Michael's, who will be in Group 1, and I think asked to stay there this year.
And that's Ballymote.
Ballymote will be in Group 2 in the smaller 14 group. Remember, 2 clubs will qualify from each group for the county semi-finals. Back we go to Group 1 to draw the second team out for the Junior A in Group 1.
And that's St Melosh Gales B.
St Melosh Gales into Group 1. They will join St Michael's, so a pair of Saints in Group 1, the 5-team group. And in Group 2, the second team will be
That's Clunacool.
Clunacool from South Sligo join Ballymote in Group 2 of the Junior A. So back we go now to Group 1 to draw the third club in Group 1 of the Connacht Gold Junior A Football Championship.
And that's Shamrock Gales B.
Shamrock Gales join St Melosh Gales and St Michael's in Group 1 of the Junior A. That's looking hot and heavy already. Let's go back to Group 2 and find out who the third club in Group 2 will be.
And it's Drumcliff Rosses Point B.
Drumcliff Rosses Point, winners of the Junior B Championship 12 months ago. And they join Clunacool and Ballymote in Group 2. So back we go to Group 1, the 4th of 5 teams in Group 1. Remember, Group 1 is a 5-team group. So the penultimate team in Group 1 is going to be
And that's St Mary's B.
St Mary's. There are quite a few Saints in this group. They join St Michael, St Melosh Gales and Shamrock Gales in Group 1. And we're now going to complete Group 2. The 4th and final team in Group 2 will be
And that's Eastern Harps B.
Eastern Harps will complete Group 2 along with Ballymote, Clunacool and Drumcliff Rosses Point. We've still one more team to draw because it is a 5-team Group 1. So to complete that group of 5, Group 1, the final name is?
It's Turla Strand B.
Turla Strand completes the 5-team Group 1 in the Connacht Gold Junior A Football Championship. There it is on your screen, and as you're digesting that, let's have a quick word with Enda Mitchell. What jumps out at you with that draw?
Looking to try to get to a final, so they'll be looking to try and get out of that group. Clunacool are having a very strong start to the league this year, and I know there's some good young players coming through there, and I would imagine the likes of Michael Clifford will be back into their team come championship as well, who can be a game changer. So that game, Ballymote-Clunacool, will be a good game. Eastern Harps are always strong. Their second team are strong, and I've no doubt that Ross Dunham will be stuck in the middle of that team somewhere. I know they're a club with a lot of young players coming through, so they're probably using that team as an avenue to bring them along. So that's going to be an ultra competitive team. And also with Drumcliff, again another club with a lot of young good players coming through. Then when you go to Group 1, like St Michael's, will probably be saying, well, at least we're getting in with a lot of B teams there, but that St Milosh second team is doing very well, and has done. I think it's second in Division 3 at the moment, so that's a good strong team as well. And St Mary's always have large numbers, and lads that would have had a lot of senior championship experience will be playing in that St Mary's second team as well. So it's two tight groups.
Okay, I'm getting an impression on balance you'd be happier in Group 1 rather than Group 2 if you had to call one.
Potentially, yeah.
Enda, thank you for that. So that's the Connacht Gold Junior A Football Championship. A reminder of it there on your screen. The opening matches will be played on the weekend of the 17th and 18th of August. Good luck to all involved in the Connacht Gold Junior A Football Championship this year. Right, 2 more draws to come, and they're biggies. Let's move on to the Connacht Gold Intermediate.
The format for 2024 is the same as 2023. The 10 teams are going to be split into 2 groups of 5, play on a round robin. The top 2 in each group will go to the county semi-finals. The bottom 2 in each group will go into the relegation semi-finals. So Sean is just going to draw them first team to Group 1, first team to Group 2, second team to Group 1, and so on.
Okay, very good. You saw them on your screens there just a moment ago to remind you of the 10 teams in this intermediate draw: Bunnernaden, Castleconnor, Coolani Mulnabrina, Eastern Harps, Enniscrone Kilglass, Giva, Olmore Gales, St Farnans, St John's and St Pat's. Let's see what happens. Here is the intermediate championship draw. Sean, over to you.
First team out is Bunnernaden.
Willie Gormley's Bunnernaden, the first team into Group 1. And now we move across to the first team for Group 2, and that's how we'll do this intermediate championship draw. Sean, the first team for Group 2 is?
And that's Eastern Harps.
Eastern Harps, Division 2 league winners in 2023, itching to get back into senior championship football, no doubt, and they'll begin their assault on the intermediate from Group 2. Back to Group 1 we go. The second team out for that group will be
Giva.
So the Highwood men join Bunnernaden in Group 2 of the intermediate, and we move on to the second team for Group 2 of the intermediate, and that will be
That's St Farnans.
St Farnans, who were relegated from senior championship football in the relegation playoff last season. They won the intermediate in 2021. Can they go back up in 2024? They're in Group 2. Back we go to Group 1. The third team out is going to be
St John's.
St John's join Giva and Bunnernaden in Group 1 of the intermediate. We move on back to Group 2 again and get the third team there, please.
Coolani Mulnabrina.
Coolani Mulnabrina, beaten county finalists 12 months ago. They came so close to winning the intermediate championship. Can they go one step further? They're going to be in Group 2. Back to Group 1 we go. The penultimate team for Group 1 now.
Olmore Gales.
The Junior A champions from 2023, making the step up, and they're in Group 1. A young, exciting team in many respects. Let's go back to Group 2 to see who will be the fourth team there.
And it's Enniscrone Kilglass.
Enniscrone Kilglass, seasoned intermediate championship exponents at this stage. That's looking a fairly juicy Group 2 already. And let's complete Group 1 now. If we go back to get the fifth team for this 5-team Group 1, to complete Group 1, let's see who's coming out.
And it's Castleconnor.
Castleconnor. The West Sligo men join O'More Gale, St John's, Giva and Bunanadden in Group 1, which leaves just one club in this intermediate championship still to be drawn. To complete Group 2, the fifth and final slot will be
St Pat's.
St Pat's. Complete Group 2 of the Connacht Gold Intermediate Football Championship. Well, everywhere you look there, Enda Mitchell, there are talking points, but what jumps out at you?
Again, similar to the Junior A, it's Group 2 that jumps out just straight away. Like, there's 5 teams there that realistically would fancy their chance of getting to a semi-final at least. Eastern Harps, obviously they're doing very well in Division 1 at the moment. I think they've won 2 of their games, and they still have the likes of Dylan Walsh and Matt Henry to come back into that team. So they're up to Division 1. I think that's a massive thing for them, and I think Ross will be pushing them hard. They would have preferred probably an easier draw. Now St Farnans, it's going to be interesting to see how St Farnans done, albeit they're without Paddy O'Connor this year, and it'll be up to the other guys, the likes of Martin Mulligan and these guys, to stand up for them. They will still be a competitive outfit at intermediate, I would imagine. And then Killarney Mullinabreena, the beaten finalists from last year, unlucky to be beaten in that final too. When they got going, they're an impressive side, and I think David Caffrey will be pushing them on again. Again, good young players there mixed with a bit of experience. And then the next thing I'm going to get to is Enniscrone as a team that I can be watching, and I think there could be dark horses to get through in that group. Enda Gilvari's done a very good job with them, and he's a few years in with them along with JP Carden. So the likes of Gavin Duffy and these guys can get scores. The Josh Ellis, who played with the Sigerson A2 team last year, done very well. So they're a team that's coming under the radar. So I don't think any of their teams would fancy playing them either. And then of course St Pat's, since they come up from Junior A, they've been very competitive. A change of management there again, but they've got some good club guys in there, guys with a bit of experience. So that group is going to be really interesting. There's going to be I'd say that could be another thing that come down to score difference or something like that in that group. It's so
Which
tight.
has happened in the past.
Yes, as we know too well in senior. Now in terms of Group 1, the beauty of that as well is that all those teams will fancy their chances of getting out of the group as well. When you look at it, O'More Gales have come up from junior now. They're a very quick, lively team. They're not the sort of team that you're going to rest your laurels against.
How big is the jump from Junior A to intermediate in your mind?
But the only thing I would say is I think O'More Gales are in a good position, and they showed that in the Connacht Junior Championship last year when they were so competitive in that. And I think the type of players they have, they're young, and I suppose they've no inhibitions, just go out and play football, and they're very attack minded. Gary Mullen has done some good work with them, and I think Sean Taylor from our own club is in with them as well. So they're coming on well. And then you have to look at Castleconnor. I know they're struggling a bit in the league at the moment, but you have to realise they're without Carbine and Oisin Flynn. So when you put them back into that team, they're a different animal completely. And I'd say Barnes Kelly has them kind of primed that way for when they get them back. Bunanadden, Willie is in a few years with Bunanadden, and they're a strong physical team, and of course any team with the likes of Luke Marin in it, they know if they can get the ball to him enough, he'll get scores for them. So that's what I suppose that they'll be trying to base it on. And that Giva, I know in the past we always struggled to get by Giva. They're a sort of team that gets stuck into, and I think they'll be quietly happy thinking they have a good chance of getting out of that group. And then St John's, when you bring the likes of Paul McNamara back in as well, I think they'll become a strong outfit. So 2 interesting groups, maybe for different reasons.
Right. You've talked to every single one of them up there, and that's going to be some intermediate championship. Thank you for that. So there is a reminder on your screen of the 10 teams for the Connacht Gold Intermediate Football Championship, and again the scheduled opening weekend of matches in the group stage is going to be the weekend of the 17th and 18th of August. We look forward to the intermediate in Sligo this year, that is for sure. Which leaves just one more draw, folks, and it's the big one in some clubs' mind. The Homeland Sligo Senior Football Championship draw for 2024. And there are the 10 teams who will be contesting it. Fergus Leonard is back from the DCC with a quick reminder. I think most people know the format, Fergus, but let's just talk us through it one more time, please.
Yep, so the same format as 2023, Austin. The 10 teams split into 2 groups of 5. Top 2 in each group will progress to semi-finals, and the bottom 2 in each group will moved on to the relegation semi-finals. So first team to Group 1, first team to Group 2, second team to Group 1, and so on.
And a few managerial changes with some of these competing teams in the senior this year. We'll come to that in just a moment. So the 10 teams, to remind you of them: Colry St Joseph's, Collares Strandhill, Curry, who won that relegation playoff last summer, Drumcliff Ross's Point, Easky, intermediate champions 12 months ago, Shamrock Gales, league champions in Division 1 last season, St Mary's, St Melosh Gales, county finalists in 2023, Turlestran and Tubba Curry. They are the 10 teams for the Homeland Sligo Senior Football Championship. Let's get stuck into it. Here comes the first team for Group 1, which Sean's about to draw.
And it's Collares Strandhill.
Wouldn't you know it? The county champions, Collares Strandhill, first out of the hat. Let's move to Group 2 and find out one of the teams that Collares Strandhill, the holders, have avoided in the group stage.
St Mary's.
They'll be blowing you kisses already, Sean Carroll. St Mary's, the neighbours, go into the first team slot in Group 2. Back we go to Group 1 for the second team out in Group 1. And it's Colry St Joseph's. Apologies for speaking over you there, Sean. The Hazelwood Club join Collares Strandhill in Group 1. We move back to Group 2 for the second team to be drawn there.
Curry.
They needed a relegation playoff to preserve their senior championship status last season, but they are capable of beating anybody on their day, and they'll be in with St Mary's in Group 2. Back to Group 1 for the third team here.
And that's Easky.
Intermediate champions last season. They join the holders Collares Strandhill and Colry St Joseph's in Group 1. We move back again to Group 2 for the third team here.
That's Drumcliff Ross's Point.
County semi-finalists last year, and they join St Mary's and Curry in Group 2. So back we go to Group 1. The fourth team in Group 1 is going to be four. They've won more senior championships, remember, in Sligo than any other club, although
St Melosh Gales.
beaten finalists 12 months ago. They've got a taste for it now. What can Jimmy Langan's side do in 2024? They'll be in with their North Sligo neighbours, Drumcliff Ross's Point and St Mary's again this year. So 4 teams out of 5 complete. Let's go back to Group 1 and complete this opening group with the 5th team.
That's Shamrock Gales.
Division 1 league finalists last season. They were full of expectation 12 months ago, and they'll feel they have unfinished business come championship football, and they complete Group 1 of the Homeland Senior Football Championship, which just leaves one more club, Sean Carroll, in this senior championship draw for the bottom of Group 2, and it's a biggie.
Yeah, it is Turlestran.
Under new management this year, former Mayo All-Ireland Under-21 winner Mike Solon taking charge of Turlestran this year, and that completes Group 2 and the Homeland Sligo Senior Football Championship. Let me bring in Enda Mitchell once again for a few off-the-cuff thoughts on that. Well, let's start with your home club, first of all, Collares Strandhill. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rank that draw for your home club?
Well, I don't know if I'd go into a comment on that, but I'd say John Mack and co won't be too displeased with the group. There's a few teams there, like still Shamrock Gales, similar to, I suppose, themselves last year. They're struggling a bit at the start of the league, but I would imagine when the county players become available and back to them, they'll be a strong outfit, and Shane King will have them well tuned. So that'll be an interesting game of where it comes in the group in terms of fixtures when them two face off each other. Easky, you had to look at them and say, well, where the score is going to come from this year with Andrew Kilcullen gone. So they'll be relying on the likes of Rossesloin and these boys to drive them on, and it will be a tough test for them. Stepping up to senior is probably a bit more difficult than stepping junior to intermediate. Tubba Curry, as you mentioned, Colin McGee's back in there with David Kern, and they're in an unfortunate situation in that they've lost 3 players in the last few weeks with ACL injuries. So their key thing is to get players fit, and I'd say they just want to try and make themselves competitive and be secure in Championship. I would not be any disparaging of them in that way, but I think if they can steady the ship there, and in fairness to Colin, any team he's gone with, he has steadied the ship. So, and then Crawley as well, no more than Clara at the moment, just trying to get numbers together at the league, and when Brian Cox comes back into that team as well, he will raise the tide there for them as well. But Clara won't be too displeased with it.
What about Group 2?
Yeah, it's going to be tight when you look at it between Malosh Gales, Torlestrand, Drumcliff, and then Mary's, of course. All teams looking to be in have been in finals in recent years. In last year, the group came down to a score difference, and the year before came down to score difference, and again, it could be the same. The one thing Malosh will be looking to press on from last year, and I think they will by going by their league form. And when Alan McLaughlin goes back in, Luke Towie comes back in as well, and Luke Casterly. Drumcliff, I'd say they would have preferred to have a bit more breathing room. They're going to have to hit the ground running again. Getting out of Division 2 could be a good platform for them, which looks likely they're on course for that to keep going the way they are. But the team that stands out for me in that, and I think they could push on a lot this year, is St Mary's. They've got Éanna Casey there involved with them this year, who helped guide Ballina to a Mayo Senior Championship last year. Then you have the influx of the likes of Eli Rooney, Conor Flynn, Stephen Roach, these guys into their senior team, along with the likes of Ronan Island and Robert O'Kelly Lynch that were there for the last few years, and mix that with the experience of Emma Mulligan, Kyle Cawley, who's back playing good football as well. So St Mary's, to me, they could top that group if things go right for them. And then Curry, I think Curry, if they win 1 or 2 games in that at the start, they'll have a bit more breathing room to keep themselves in it for the last round.
There's a piece of me wondering, is that a Calera man trying to talk up St Mary's early on in the season? Anyway, interesting thoughts. Enda, thank you very much for your insights and thoughts. Excellence in Scarden. I want to thank Enda Mitchell, Sean Carl and Noel Gallagher and Fergus Leonard for helping us out with the draw, and to draw coordinator Emma McMunn, and the chairperson of the Sligo CCC working quietly here in the background, Dermot Gannon, as well as our sound and vision engineer Rory O'Brien. And thank you for watching. Roll on the club championships in football and hurling in Sligo this summer. Roll on the Talton Cup semi at Crow Park this Sunday. From us all here in Scarden, it's good night.